ladies and gentlemen, Master Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, were you aware that over 80% of people quit their managers, not their job? If your boss sucks, let me know. If you're your own boss, I don't know what to tell you about that. So I spent a lot of time training managers to be more human. Human resources are usually my client, and it's interesting to me when I start to talk to managers. I've taught over 1,000 of them in the last 6 or 7 years, and I found they all had the same complaint. It's never them. It's never them that's the one that's the problem. They've always got employees that suck their time, suck their energy, suck their life. Well, really the title of my speech is Suck Less for Success. There's a couple of things you can do. On the agenda it says the 7 habits of highly effective managers. The word is ineffective managers. There's some things that managers do to cause themselves trouble. Now, I don't have enough time. The class that I lead is usually a week long, so we will be way over time if I get started. However, I can tell you a few things to highlight. What are the things you can do? Does anybody here manage anybody but themselves? Do you ever have to work with anybody other than yourself? Do you know anybody other than yourself? Okay, good. So, dealing with other people really boils down to one thing: communication. And when I say that, it's because of this. All of us, here's something we all have in common. All of us have a start date. It's on your birth certificate. It's on your license. Some of you hide it like it's Fort Knox Gold. However, we all have a start date, and we all have an end date that we just don't know yet. I would agree because nobody's laying down. So good. So there's that little spot in between. What is that? That little, you see it on every tombstone. Between the start date and the end date.
Dash.
Dash. To me, the most important thing we can do as managers or human beings is pay attention to the dash. How we live the dash will say everything about who shows up, what they say, and basically how much stuff they take from our house when we're gone. So, when I say the quality of your life is determined by the quality of relationships you have in your life, how many people know that to be true? I'll put it this way. How many bad interactions does it take to mess up your day? Probably less than one if you average it over how many days that lingers sometimes, doesn't it? One bad interaction can destroy your dash. One bad interaction can cause you to have a bad day. And since we don't know how many days we have left, I don't want to risk it, do you? So if the quality of our lives determined by the quality of our communication, or quality of our relationships, what determines the quality of our relationships? It's our communication. Now, of all the bad habits, of all the bad things managers do, I can tell you the one thing that they don't do very well is listen. I'll say it again just to make sure everybody heard me. The one thing that most people do really badly is listen.
That's right.
We just don't listen. Besides listening to the voice in your head, when I said that, you probably started saying to yourself, I don't know if he's right about that. Why is he wearing a t-shirt? Does he have his shoes go? You're not listening. You're having a conversation with yourself. We are constantly conversing with ourselves, usually waiting for the other person to stop making noise so we can start making noise. And it's ineffective, and it causes us damage in our relationship. Stephen Covey, who wrote the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, said that we operate as human beings on an emotional bank account. We make deposits, we make withdrawals. The goal in life is to make more deposits than you do withdrawals to be effective in relationship. Would you agree that that's the case? Mm-hmm. Think about the people that piss you off the most. They're deficit spenders. They probably do the same in their finances. However, here's a couple of simple things you can do. Would you like to leave here with a couple of tools that you can use? The one thing I'd like to do is teach you a real tool on how to listen. And it's a simple model. You'll be able to remember it when I'm done. You start with this one, S, to stop talking. You may want to write this down. I don't know. I'll give you time if you want to. Stop talking. The first thing you got to know about listening is you can't if you're talking. Now, good luck silencing that little voice in your head. That little voice in your head. The one that said, "What little voice in my head?" That one, the one that never stops talking. That one. If you have more than one, keep that to yourself. Okay, so stop talking. If you stop talking, you give the other person a chance to express themselves. The next thing you have to do is you actually have to practice hearing what they're saying. I know this sounds weird, but actually listening to the words they're using makes a difference. For a variety of reasons, we go into it for many, many hours, listening to the words they're using. If you can understand what they are saying, could be the language, could be an accent, could be a dialect. It's just some simple, really things about understanding. I'm not talking about deeply understanding. I'm talking about understand what they're saying. Covey talks about his fourth habit. Seek first to understand before being understood. Mm-hmm. It's the core. You're starting to build huge equity with another person. Now this is one. Take a sip. Now I got this tip from a buddy of mine who always holds a water bottle. I said, "Why do you do that?" He says, "When somebody's done talking, I take a sip." It's another way to say pause. Take a breath. You know, the goal in life is to have a gap between stimulus and response so that it's more thoughtful. And when you have ever been in an argument, have you noticed the pace of it's so fast, you're not even talking anymore. You're just punching buttons and getting reactions. Even if you're a professional at it, and you're calm, cool, and collected, you're still causing the same damage as if you weren't. So if you can take a sip, and now here's the key. That's putting a little break in the action. Soak it in. It's a little crock pot method. But you've already demonstrated some equity just by taking it in. So the next thing you need to do is uncover meaning. Uncover the meaning. I go into this in a lot more detail, but people never say what they mean. You never hear what they mean. I had a student one time, I said, "You're arrogant." He said, "No, I'm not." I said, "You're arrogant." He said, "I'm not arrogant." "You're arrogant." "I am not arrogant." "Would you like to know what I mean by it?" He said, "Yeah, well tell me first what you think it means." He said, "It means rude, obstructive, blah, 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 blah." I said, "It means confident, smart, and intelligent, and witty." "I'm arrogant." "But you're sure you know what they mean?" Here's the simple method. Simplest. If you want to take your listening skills to the next level and start building equity beyond what you know to do, here's a simple skill. It's really easy. It's almost not fair. Ask a question about their answer. "What do you mean by that?" "Say more about that." "Could you explain that?" My buddy Blake says, "How do you mean?" Ask a question about their answer. It shows you're interested. It shows you care. You could just be stalling for a little time, letting your emotions settle down a little bit. Uncover the meaning of what they're saying, because you probably got it wrong. 93% of our communication is up for interpretation. And the other 7% are the words we use, and that's up for interpretation too. It's all interpretation. Take the time before you react to understand what they mean. Are we at 8? Yeah. Okay. The last one is paraphrase. It's the hallmark of active listening. It's the hallmark of empathic listening. It's the hallmark of saying, "I think I understand what you're saying. Will you check it out for me?" Underlying what you're really communicating is, I actually care enough to know that you know that I know what you had to say. Now, if you can't remember all those things, and you really want to be a good listener, just remember the acronym. Shut up! Just shut up! Even if you're pretending to listen, you're doing way less damage than talking. So take the time. Stop talking. Hear what people have to say. Understand the words they're using. Take a breath, a sip, a break. Uncover the meaning and give it back to them to check for understanding. You will take your listening skills to a level that most people never even touch. And with that is the first step to becoming an effective manager. Mr. Toastmaster.